This sweater I have, I never wore it before. I've tried it on. I bought it. It's old. It's like 20 years old. I just washed it for the first time. It came from a place called the Buckle. Does the Buckle still exist? I had a pretty girl go shopping with me, and I said, "Help me buy D-bag clothes." I want to look like a real jerk, because all the ladies like the jerks. I wasn't a jerk. I just wanted to look like one, because all we're doing is playing roles. Whenever we go out, usually people are playing a role. I'm a clown. I always been a clown. And this more serious situation I'm in, the harder it is for me not to clown the situation. I get in trouble a lot. I have in my life a lot. But when you look at my permanent record, it says I got suspended in junior high. And if you read the reason as to why I got suspended, it was because I called Mr. Smith the dirty old man. Of course he was, and he made a lot of the young girls uncomfortable because I was a young girl and I would talk with the other young girls, and we knew that he was a creepy creep. You're not supposed to question people. You're not supposed to know how people are by just standing next to them. Yet people like me do. We're human lie detectors. We tune in to the frequency of your thoughts. Heck, I don't even gotta tune into people's thoughts. I size people up by the brands of their shoes, the kind of car they drive. Whenever they have excess, what do they do with the excess that they have? And we live in a very, very greedy time, and I don't even look at it as greed. I think it's predominantly fear. That people are fearful and they think they have to hoard, but in order to get all the things that you need in this incarnation, you can't be inhibited with fear. You have to give freely. I like to give these things away where I live. I like to give people stickers. I came up with this when I was a 9-year-old girl. It says straight people like rainbows too. And I always did the rainbow like this. Because it's the color wheel. Every person is just a shade on the rainbow. I don't care what color they are. I care about what they do with what they are. We're going to hear more about the hybrids. I would fall into that category. I'm an altered human being that is different. It's not the rainbow, it's the Marge bow. I don't even know what order the rainbow goes in. Plus, it's cheeky because I'm not straight. I never been like, ooh, he's hot. Oh, he's a stud. That one right there. It is Z Cavaricci's. Rainbows are all well and good. They're mirages too. There's something that people can see that when you get closer, it goes away. My name's Margie. I'm a Heyoka empath. So if I come across your FYP, you must like to be learning. You must like to learn about things too. Yeah. I'm a storyteller. I tell stories about my life, about the time I was in the military and how central casting ain't what it used to be. They can't get competent people to play roles of pilots, as you know. I don't know if you saw that, but 4 more people evaded death because they didn't know what they were doing and crashed into each other. And these are the people that are supposed to be protecting the United States of America. It's laughable. America's going down the toilet in real time. And the people that are all believe in the American dream, all the people that believe in, hey, we're the superpower, America's the greatest country in the world. Not if you want to keep stuff nice. Not if you don't like the smell of piss in every major city. Because bureaucrats don't want to give people places to use the bathroom. Hey, I done over 3,000 videos. You want to hear about weird shit? It's just quantum, really. It's just science. It's my background. Now I'm a stay-at-home daughter, and I just share all the data that I incur while I hang out with mom. See, because I don't just tune into stuff on the earth. I don't have earth in my chart. I live off planet in my mind because that's where my perception lies. Well, most people, the NPCs, are out here with their controllers playing video games. And that's all they'd done. Every free minute they had, they spent years, hours. Like, pile all of the gigabytes of data used of people jerking off with their controllers. That don't do nothing practical. People in the trades, like, that is largely why society is collapsing. They don't have people that are born in 2006, 7, and that are like, I want to be a plumber. They don't have tradespeople. They don't have people to drive the trucks. Look what they're doing with the airplanes. They can't even keep airplanes in the sky. It's the central casting. They don't have people that are qualified. But heck, when I was in the Air Force, I was enlisted with people. I knew people. I heard so many stories about people that were not really competent. My first supervisor had a lazy eye. How do you become in maintenance if you can't, if your eye's gonna go wonky by itself? It's because we're just playing a role. And the better you make the role look, the more rewards you get. Like, I see these guys, they have their racks of ribbons. And these guys had never worked a hard day in their whole lives. And then I remember Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and I remember the uniforms and this movie. You want to know what's going on in today's world? Go watch this. Go watch this movie. This is what's happening in the world now. And they lost control because too many people don't have control of themselves. It's Babylon everywhere because people are just programmer beings. I think people, it gets a lot of thumbed beings off the hook because not all beings on the planet are of humanity. To me, humanity, what it is to be a human to me is to be generous in all cases. In all situations in which I meet in life, how can I be generous to everybody? And I tried that for a lot of time, and then I noticed all the people that really hate generosity because then they might be called to be generous themselves, and they have the mentality that if they give up themselves, then there's not going to be enough for them, which creates a vibrational frequency of lack, which on the Hawkins scale vibrates very low. It's down there with fear. I live in New Mexico. Like, I don't know what price gas is. I don't even look. I look at the pumps of what other people getting, and I see where people are putting like $6-7 in. So that means that I'm gonna buy gas cards, and I'm gonna have them in my car. And then when I see people, I did it last time. I just gave the girl $20. I said, "Here, put this in your tank, and whatever you're gonna do for gas, go treat yourself, because people don't get to, people feel bad all the time, man. They're working 3 jobs while freaking Biff and his friend go to China and play on the backs of everybody else. That's like, if that's what important people do, or people that deem themselves of significant importance, is they said they talk like they walk with the presence of giants, yet they are such mentally minded. They're We go to war because people are at conflict within themselves. That's why we fight wars over there. The United States of America should be a huge garden. It's mostly desert, a lot of rock in a lot of places, and then you have the places like Florida that's swampland. Like, they inhabit and stuff a lot of people living in places that people shouldn't be living. It's weird. And now the earth is changing, because that's what the earth does. It evolves. It evolves. It constantly changes. We as beings on this earth, all we're supposed to do is take care of each other, the animals on the planet, and make sure it don't stink, and that the garbage is contained, and everything is properly maintained. That's all we're supposed to do. And it got out of hand. Why? Because Washington D.C. and Hollywood, they're an extension of one another, because they made movies with cowboy actors to make the cowboy look like a cool guy. They're not cool guys. Ask the Indians. See, my inner conflict comes from, I have colony blood and I got indigenous. It don't matter which is here first. They got to learn to live peacefully with one another on this alien, within this alien ant farm. My soul sack. That's all our bodies are. And I'm like, no wonder people can't make a little town a nice place to live, a safe place to live. Look at all the people that can't take care of themselves in the town. They don't make good choices in their own personal earth, and then they take their polluted atmosphere ecosystem, and then all these people are clashing. These planets are colliding because people aren't in a fit spiritual, they're not at the, they still got buttons. I had an AA sponsor. Like, people have picked on me. Like, I've had assholes call me out from the podium, behind the podium, just to be an asshole, just because that's what narcissists and shit do. I've been bullied my whole life, and now I just talk about my side of it, is all. And they're all the same guys. They're all the same. Like, the laws are good enough for them, but they have to control everyone else around them, and they're liars and cheats and thieves. That's why I had to quit AA. Because it removes culpability. Like, there's men that should have been locked away in prison for shit that they did to girls, and they never got in trouble. They never. So there's so many people that never got in trouble, and there's people like me that got made the example to show what happens to the people. So you know what, the people that instead of getting in trouble, but they're scumbags, you know what they did? They just got better about keeping their behavior and their lecherous, nasty stuff hidden and secret. They just got better about hiding stuff, is all. And then they hang out with that. See, they started in Hollywood. They started by making these movies, and then that people watch the movies, and then they get an idea of how things are. Like war movies. I grew up Bridge Over River Kwai, like all these America. But if you go back and look at it, like, we never have any reason to be over there when when this country is shit, and this country is shit. Because people play too much. And why people play, what energy we've put out to other countries that didn't deserve it, because a bunch of Nepo boys want to flex in their tiny little suits, or their ginormous suits, depend on which. Poli-sci is acting class. What is it to be a city councilman? You got to know the right people. That's all you got to do. There's so few people that vote because they know that that's a racket, that that's a crock, that people win by default. And then the system's engaged. Somebody tell me why it's legal for 15-year-olds to get married in New Mexico. Anybody want to explain why that's okay? Because they don't care about kids and they hate women. And they call them, in the Bible, what's that word? They live in the inner earth. They're related to the giants, but they're not giant no more. The Nephilim or whatever it is. They're related to the fallen, the scumbags, the treacherous, the blue pill poppers. The poster boys for machismo. They're all riding around on their little Harleys with their arms up here with their little muscle heads. See, I'm one of those inverts that they mess with me when mom was pregnant with me. So I am not the version of what you get is not what God intended, because they've been doing Epstein shit forever. And I don't like to say that I'm an invert because we're freaks. I was born female, but I wasn't supposed to be. I'm built like a man. I think like a man. I just have female parts, and I'm a Jamie Lee Curtis, and I can't stand Jamie Lee Curtis. They make people something different, and so I'm trying to be the complete opposite of what they want me to be. I'm trying to be joyful because they want me to be hateful. I come from Freemasons. It's just what they do to some of the family while the other family gets the free ride. Because I wouldn't go with the program and I wouldn't do the weird shit. My grandpa used to play strip poker with me when I was a 2-3-year-old girl. I know who the perverts are. My brother had a roommate that went to prison for pedophilia. And he went to go see the man, and now I'm wondering if, he just wants to make sure he keeps his mouth closed, because my brother's a lawyer. And my brother tried to kill me. Because they don't have emotional control. They just have friends to help them fraternity brothers to help them clean up the messes. Thank goodness people are not really going to universities anymore. I'm excited. See, I have this idea. And I gotta find the city because I say it on the internet. Scientists, they don't put their shit out there. If anybody wants to pick up my idea and do something with it in their community, as long as it helps, I don't care. But using GIS software, like when you go to your Taos, New Mexico Gov page, and then if you go to public records, and then scroll down to Taos Town Code. Where is it? Where's search? Government websites by Civic Plus. Where's the search bar? There it is. So if I search for GIS and mapping. GIS in the town of Taos exists to organize, utilize, and communicate geographically information related to the town services. This is achieved through the creation of hard copy maps and interactive maps. So, where is the place to access it? Talks about what it is. GIS. See, my HCI skills are. This is laughable. GIS information system. Because I was going to go into this career field and I went into hand on tech support because in IT, you're always going to need somebody to go there ultimately and do the thing for the end user because end users are kind of eh. Zoning review web map. So by using this software that already exists within the city and town in which you live, click here to view the map. Don't show this again. You use this software, and then you take a start picture, and then somebody goes and picks out garbage, and do it for as long as they feel like, an hour, 2 hours, couple hours, and then just put it the closest receptacle because we all live in the same community. We all don't like the same stink. I mean, we all want the best for Taos, right? This is what would be the best for Taos. And they pick up for garbage for an hour, $15 an hour, right? Government takes off the top what it is, so they're basic. Okay, so they're base. Okay, maybe we would inflate it. Maybe it's $16 an hour, and then by the time Uncle Sam takes his cut, so we can bomb people in places we have no business and build $1 billion ballrooms and bullshit like that because dudes have ideas of grandiosity and inferiority complexes. So this is what the rest of us poor people just get to go by. So they make $15 an hour and then it goes direct deposit in their Venmo, PayPal, Zella, whatever account that they want it to go to. And I talk with people in the community. And I'm like, and it would help with mental health because a lot of times people can't sleep at night. There's nothing to do. Go out and pick up garbage. The county will provide headlamps. You'll have all your PPE, protective personal equipment to keep you safe. Then you don't need police as much because everybody's community. You know, like we need to shift for up economics because trickle down never trickles down. So, and I know there's people that want to work in their own community. They just don't want to work 9 to 5 and have to deal with the HR at Taos County and the city of Taos. And that's anywhere, Redding, Omaha. Like, there's a lot of really hard workers that want to take care of stuff and they can't afford to. So let's, spend the billions and millions and trillions and gazillions of dollars that they use for hot air fucking bullshit and festivals in the park that people don't go to and shows like Breaking Bad that don't paint a real pretty picture of New Mexico. Of course, that's what New Mexico really is. BFF to Epstein. And what do borders really matter? We're just not too far from what happened to Emily Pike, Emily Pike, Emily Pike. Omaha's having severe thunderstorms. That's good. I hope they get rain. I guess they need rain. So, yeah, using this software before and after because when you take a picture, every picture has. Oh, look, this picture just came up. Benny. I miss my big boy Benny. That was my house in Omaha. I take care of stuff. That was the driveway I drew from my driveway. It was like my little bat cave. But see, when you take pictures, it has like all they have to do is put the coordinates in there, is have your location enabled. And then your latitude, longitude can tie into the coordinates of the GIS map. And then more people could. That was my 40th surprise party. I was the best person in my brother's wedding. He doesn't even like me. He's just a politician that's pretending. I tied his bow tie for him. That's him and his handler. That was 10 years ago. I don't even think she colored her hair yet. Now her hair's like as gray as mine. Back when I smoked cigarettes and I had braces. I don't smoke anymore. That's a guy named Dick Martin. He was a Freemason. I went to AA with him. Now he's dead, so I could talk about him. They had straight up bagpipes that played. He was a fucking perv, dude. They had to make sure like wasn't too pervy around people that might bring up question of his character. This is a little dog. I named him Noble. He died in my arms. I found him on the streets of Salem, Oregon. And I took him in and then I held him on until he took his last breath so he wouldn't have to die alone. He's a good boy. This Tucker, he's also at the Rainbow Bridge. You know, I've had a good life. Mom's had a good life. She's looking pretty. This is an old picture. Ma, how you doing today? You want to say hi?
Hello.
Wave?
Moving on.
Moving on?
Just like wave to you.
Waving at you. Mom's happy, and that's what I live for, really. I hang on every day. I wake up. I do exercises. You know, and wherever I am, I just got to take care of stuff, whether it's little kittens or little dogs or little old ladies. It's how I'm wired. I went to war, so I see how easily and frivolously they treat life. They don't have reverence for life. They throw our lives away because they don't matter to them, because we're just plastic pawns to them. And, you know, unless you're an officer, most enlisted are doing it because they're over a barrel, like they didn't have a choice. That's why I enlisted. I didn't have a choice. I knew I was going to be mom's caregiver. Because the dude slammed her head in the car door when she was 39, and she did good for a long time. She got to where she just wasn't feeding herself no more and stuff. So I went and like did all this stuff to learn how to do all these things to take care of her. And then I couldn't do those things anymore, and I became her old. And if you have someone that can't take care of themselves and you can't go to work and you still need income and you try, I couldn't get food stamps in Taos for her, on her behalf, like she's, you know. And I don't need any agency anymore, but there's times that I really needed help, and like I begged on the internet, and I did the GoFundMe. I learned that freaking 5, 6 years ago that fucking nobody cared about Mom and Marge and the dogs, including my brother who makes $250,000 a year. Like, but I come from Freemasons and they hate me because they hate the feminine within themselves, because they look at it as weak, and they overcompensate. Because my grandma was the mask. She wore the pants in the family between she and Butch. She 40 years old became a real estate agent. Like they had to, you know, have a cover for their freaking nonprofit. You know, she was a colonist. She was a smart, brilliant woman. Has a whole freaking like institution, like family legacy that I never had any access to, because that's how much she hated my mom, and the fact that they had me because she couldn't play little sweet little old grandma because when she was evil to me, and then I would tell mom how mean grandma was, and dad was mean. They're so mean. Like, why would you want me to have me around to be mean? Because people are sick. And I grew up in that environment, and I can't be mean to. I want to be mean because it's in me, because I'm half them. I just know that when you're mean, it like makes your teeth rot out of your head. When you're mean, it makes you ugly. It gives you demons. And I have enough of my own demons. I feel I have survival remorse because America's a liar. And so I have to overcompensate every day by giving people stickers and stuff. Because straight people like rainbows too. And I'm sorry for my service. Because real lives are lost. There's just no real valid reason for the loss of life. So people can go to air shows and watch the planes crash into each other because they're flown by idiots in 2026. Come on. Dummies. Excuse me. I remember going when I worked at Chevy's Mexican restaurant. They had a tent for the VIPs or whatever. We catered for some VIPs, and then so if you were the good kid, cool kid, you got to go. And I went one time, and like that was the first time that the Blue Angels came to town, and of course they come to eat at Chevy's, and of course the girl, the hottest, the someone's gonna hook up with them, and then you're gonna hear stories about it. It happens everywhere. It's just what they do. That was 1996. 93. So 7 years later, I go into the United States Air Force. I'm stationed at Offutt Air Force Base where I'm flight line support. So they had all the Defenders of Freedom bullshit air show crap, and it was a bunch of people scattering to put on a pony show for generals. That's what these things are. It's a big old flex. It's a big old sausage. Like, my wiener's bigger than your wiener, and I can make this happen, and all this stupid shit. That's what politics are. It's poli-sci acting class. And so these dudes freaking I remember one time when I first got there, they had all of us airmen, and they had like, was it Airman Leadership School or the first week you get there? Anyway, before we went to our work center, and we had to go to all these different car rental places, and like 60 people were just getting just a constant train of getting car rentals because each general, I think major up, they all got their own car. So that does a lot for, it's just a big old it strokes the economy. And then I got to go behind the scenes, so I didn't have to deal with this hundreds and thousands of people. There were times I had to go pick up litter when I first got there, but then it was like, I'm never doing that again. Make somebody else do it. It's called rotation of service. Everybody should have to do the crap job, so they treat the people that do the crap job. Have to, when it's their turn, they treat them a little bit better because they know. So I didn't. And then so I got to watch the bluebirds and the thunderbirds take off and do their little rituals and stuff. I actually knew a guy, Fred. I sat next to him for years, and he was the bus driver for the Blue Angels. And I think it was New Mexico, as a matter of fact, maybe Albuquerque. They were doing an air show, and it's like, they could think they're rock stars. They just travel around and party, and get laid and shit. And homeboy woke up and couldn't remember where he parked the bus, and he had to be at some place at 0700 to pick up the flight crew to give him a ride out to the flight line to do their little show. And homeboy's like, where did I put that bus? You know, because that's the real characters, cast in characters of, that's the real behind the scenes of what the military is. When I was on Crete, they trashed the base. 500 Marines just went crazy and freaking shocked and awed the base commander because they did all this terrible shit in places, you know, and like what died that on the battlefields is all the years of him being a good boy. That's what dies on the, like, all those years of him, you know, playing the baseball and apple pie and Chevrolet and, you know, the American. Now he's a freaking murderer for pay. So he's a hitman. And some of them like the way it tastes. They like how it feels. They get off on it literally. And then they go back to America and they're like, shit, I can't do that in America. It's against the law. Oh, wait, I'll just go and be a policeman. I'll just go work in the police department and then I'll determine who the bad guys are. To a lot of these guys, the bad guys are masculine women in places like Missoula, Montana, and small town. Like, I don't know what I look like to other people, how other people perceive me. I just see out my eyeballs. And I get a lot of scowls. And I'm like, dude, like, I scowl when things are ugly. And I'm like, man, I must be really ugly. And then I'm like, I remember, Marge, you're a Heyoka. You mirror them. They don't like you because they hate themselves. And when people like themselves, they like me. They don't block me. That's how I know who the real ones are. See, when you're an authentic person, inauthentic people that are trying to pretend to be authentic, they hate people like me because I'm like, what are you? What are you trying to be? What little character are you playing? I just like to learn about myself through other people. That's all. That's all. Me and Mom started watching the Harry Potters. Huh, Ma? I don't care what people are. I care about what people do with what they are. And when people are self-serving, that's evil in my mind. When they're just going around doing those tours in Sedona and worthless shit like that, that don't help. That don't help people like Mom that can't take care of herself. And there's lots of autistic. That's how the meek is inheriting the earth. There's more and more autistics like that, like they can't go out and fill out application. Like, what is the job process anymore? You go any place, I'd like to fill out an application. You get, generally, I think, you need to go to the website. Then you go to the website's shit, it doesn't work. So that's why I know that my idea, I'm going to go talk to Leroy. I guess he's a reasonable man. He works for the maintenance, land waste management. He does, you know, and that's one of the shittiest hardest jobs, because like when you're like, it's just it's high turnover. I just have so many ideas to make life better for everybody down here at the bottom tier. Us poor people, man. You know, more community gardens. You know, everybody should be getting paid. Isn't that the way we're going anyway? And then universal income, 2 grand for everybody that's born here. Like you got, you know, like you got to have a driver's license and stuff. Like if they want to feed the system, then make the system accessible. Luna's over there rolling around being cute. She's gonna want to go walk around now. And you getting hungry, Ma? You want some salmon for dinner?
Yeah.
Does that sound good? Does that sound salmon and mashed potatoes? Nice and light. Oh, we're in Gemini now?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I don't need to listen to any of that. As hard as it gets for some people, like Taos, there's so much. Look at all the people. Look at all the money that's leaving Taos. Mind you, there's only 6,000 people, and the way things are shifting, it's like it's people aren't coming here to vacation. They come here to meander. That's why they come to Taos. And I always pass people whenever Mom and I go for our drives around, because wherever we live, we go for drives. Mom's been going for drives, clearing her head for all times, and then I got in the habit, and then I worked in a truck. When I worked in the Air Force, I was always in a truck going 10, 15 miles an hour, so it's very soothing and nice and slow. And we're surrounded by people that just got the zoomies. They can't, they just can't, it's so fast. So what was I showing? I was going to show, there's so much storms. Oh, that's what I was going to show, Zillow. This is tonight. A lot of people are going to we're first day of Gemini. To me, Gemini is electricity. It's the negative and positive polarities. So, first day of Gemini, look at all this. If people don't balance within themselves, they're going to dip into the negative or positive. So, this is a lot of kinetic energy. See, we create our realities, and that's how. So, a lot of people aren't going to sleep tonight, I don't think. I know Omaha needs rain. But I've been getting screenshots of how these storms are forming up all day, and every time I look, it's something wildly different. It's just wild. So where I live, though, it's never really impacted by stuff like that. So I spend a lot of time on Zillow. So I grew up in a real estate family, and so let's see updates. So these are the houses in Taos that have been going up. Look at this, 1.2 million. Like I know these are the people that have shopped at Sid's but like why are people little single ladies raising their grandkids? Why are men charging them $1,200 to light gas stoves for them and stuff like that? That stuff is just, I mean, like, it's because they don't know when the money is going to come in again, so they just got to get you for what you're worth. It's this weird mentality. Here, Ma, you want some water? Ma and I got a new cup. We got a new copper cup. Your hair's pretty. Here, drink that. Oh, I got to do the vibration plate. Everything gets stiff. So yeah, whatever money was in Taos is definitely leaving. Taos is a place that people come and like either they've lived here generationally, but see now people don't want to stay in the houses that their aunties and uncles that have been, they want to go see something else. The born and raised are like, okay, I'm raised, I'm ready to go. And people aren't coming here. Today I read 2 different instances. They're going to close down one hospital to access because two shit. 2 urologists are leaving the practice. 2. So there no you got problems with your peer. Drink water, I guess, and like, and then there's another facility in Las Cruces that women can no longer go to have babies. So now they have to travel that much farther to bring life into this world. See, because we have been programmed, all even people that live in aren't programmed are part of a program, so to speak. Like we all have our little categories that we're and our inclinations and our drive, and some people are highly manipulated because they're prone to manipulation. I am a sucker. I'm prone to being manipulated, and I don't care as long as I figure it out. Like I'll let people use me if it's I think it's gonna, if I think I'm doing it to make life better for somebody, I'll let them. I just won't let them keep letting them. There's gonna be more people with special needs, so we need to hook up like all these autistic people that don't want to go work in fields and shit like that, that don't handle the heat. They're all sensitive. Let them stay in and with and be the caregivers. Like we gotta learn how to take care. And I'm like the highest level autistic, and I could mask so much that I won awards in the military. So what does that tell you? If a retard could succeed in the military by pretending to go along with what they do because I shine my boots shinier than them, central casting is a very, very real thing. Mama. Some just won't sell their soul to be a part of one of the cast members, and that's what I left 3D Earth back in. Mom saved me from planet Earth, is what she did, from keeping me from selling my soul. She did. She really, really did. Thanks, Ma. I appreciate you. Love you, Ma. Luna wants to go out now.